And welcome to part two of our introduction to entrepreneurship, innovation, and creativity. One of the major lessons we want you to take away from this program is that the path to successful entrepreneurship, and life for that matter, lies in the skills and behaviors you learn during this program, and that you commit to practicing them consistently as you continue throughout your entrepreneurial journey. Let's take a closer look. Let's start with observation. As we'll talk about a little later, curiosity is a natural talent that we're born with, but we need tools to help us take full advantage of it. Curiosity helps us be extremely aware of what is going on around us. When we're curious, we watch carefully while people go about their day, whether shopping, at work, at school, or at home. We pay special attention to what they're trying to accomplish and notice where they might be having problems getting something done or accomplishing a task. From our observations, we can certainly try to guess or make assumptions about what they're trying to get done, but we can also use our second innovative skill to learn some more and get some facts. Asking great questions is a wonderful way to learn more from people about what they're trying to get done and the problems they might be experiencing in getting those things done. But you need to be very careful. People like to say things that they think you want to hear, or they might give you their opinion rather than what's really going on in their heads. They often want to make themselves look smart rather than risk saying something wrong. When you ask questions, you're trying to understand the real motivations of why people behave certain ways, make certain decisions, or avoid something altogether. Understanding these motivations is where entrepreneurial opportunity lies. This skill is so important. We're going to learn a lot more about how to ask great questions during the customer development process miniseries. One of the best ways of learning new things is to get out of your home, office, or workspace and network. Networking is when you go out and meet other people, either by chance or by appointment, and learn as much as you can from them. Family events, parties, and all sorts of other activities. And take the time to use the first two skills you learned, observation and questioning, to discover new opportunities. You're not going to learn very much working by yourself or with your small team back home trying to develop your ideas. You need to get out and learn from others. And one of the most important skills you can learn and practice as an entrepreneur is experimentation. In fact, it is so important we spend a lot of time on experimentation throughout the entire program. When I say experimentation, I'm talking about using something you may have learned about in science class, the experimental method. Experimental method is a critically important part of your innovation efforts. When we experiment, we try to avoid what we call bad failure and learn to become experts in good failure. So, what's good failure? Good failure is when you perform an experiment and at the end you discover that the hypothesis or assumption you were testing was wrong. In other words, your experiment failed. Instead of giving up, you use the results of your failed experiment to learn something new and go back to relook at your assumptions and try a new experiment that will get you back on track. Designing and carrying out great experiments can make all the difference between innovating successfully and moving forward to build your business or getting stuck with a product or service that no one or very few people want to buy. So, when we consistently practice each of the four core skills and behaviors, observing, questioning, networking, and experimenting, that's what gets us ready to use our master skill, making associations and connecting the dots. And Steve Jobs said it all himself. As I mentioned earlier, there's actually a natural talent that you're born with that's really important in becoming a successful innovator and entrepreneur: curiosity. This natural born talent is what helps us learn from the moment we're born. Imagine if we were not born with curiosity. we would just sit around and do nothing, like a potato. We wouldn't explore the world around us, learn by doing, or by experimenting. The problem is, as we get older, most of us actually become less curious. Why would that happen, you might ask? As we get older and develop more responsibilities like going to school, doing chores, going to work, hanging out with our friends, we have less time and interest in being curious. And with that, we lose some of our natural born creativity. So we need to work real hard at how to maintain our curiosity. And that means learning and constantly practicing the five innovator skills and behaviors. This will help us bring back some of that wonderful curiosity we were born with. So let's finish up with a topic we'll be discussing in much greater detail in our Failing Forward mini series. Fact is, as innovators and entrepreneurs, we're going to fail, and we're going to fail a lot. When we try something totally new, something that's not been done before, we're probably not going to get it right the first time. We're going to have to do experiments, lots of them, during our entrepreneurial journeys. Look at James Dyson. He had to test over 5,000 versions of his famous vacuum cleaner before he finally got it right. And where do you think the name WD-40 came from? A product we use to lubricate all kinds of metal things. Well, the engineers at Rocket Chemical wound up having to test 39 different formulas before they finally got the product to provide the wow experience they were hoping for their customers. Formula number 40 was the charm. So, what do you think? Is entrepreneurial failure something to be afraid of? Or is it a unique opportunity to learn? Let's explore that question in our Failing Forward mini series. See you then. So, we've come to the end of our Introduction to Entrepreneurship, Innovation, and Creativity mini series. We've learned a bunch of new things, but we've also raised a few questions, especially about the concepts of good failure and bad failure and what they mean for our entrepreneurial adventure. Well, let's meet up again in our Failing Forward series to start answering them. See you there.